Welcome to the video. First we have a short segment on Ward and how that works, and then we have a segment on Gothic cards that I'm excited about. So let's talk about Ward. And Ward says that if a site or a unit would be damaged, destroyed, or targeted by a spell or ability from your opponent, the ward breaks instead. And then it also says evil minions such as demons, monsters, and undead cannot have Ward. Here's an example of 2 minions with Ward and an avatar that gives Ward if you pay for its ability. And here's an example of a site that breaks Ward and a minion that makes you lose Ward. And this is interesting because we have 2 sites that come in with Ward in Gothic, and we also have 16 minions that have Ward. We have 4 new Archangels in Gothic. They all come with Airborne and they all come with Ward, and they all have 4 threshold to their respective elements. So they're not very easy to splash, but they're very exciting. I'm mostly excited for Michael and Samuel. They both seem really cool. Michael has the ability to take a step when he's summoned, this is his Genesis ability, then strike all enemies at his location. It seems very strong. And Samuel has the Genesis ability that a player loses life equal to the number of evil minions they control or in their cemetery. Now that I feel we have covered Ward a bit, let's talk about some cards I am very excited about from Gothic. Demonic Contract is a really interesting card. It says search your spellbook for any card, reveal it, put it into your hand, and shuffle afterwards. You may only search for a spell that has rarity lower or equal to a demon minion that you control. As an additional cost to cast Demonic Contract, you must pay 4 life or reach another accord with said demon by sacrificing a coin, egg, frog, gem, gold, rune, treasure, or mortal soul. The flavor of this card is absolutely off the charts, and it's probably going to be a very played card considering it only has 2 fire threshold and costs 2 mana, and you can search for basically anything in your demon deck. This spell can return you from Death's Door to 1 life, and it's the first time we're seeing a spell that can do something like this. We also have a very exciting new core, and it's really strong. The question is, how do we get it into the void? I don't have the answer to this, but somebody might figure something out that's gonna break something. Yeah, it may seem silly, but Stacks is one of my favorite archetypes, so limiting your opponents to the top 3 cards of their library when they search for something is really exciting to me. Hellfire seems really good. It destroys everything below sides and then deals 2 damage to each minion above sides, which is good enough to get rid of those pesky root spiders. Overflow and Landmass both draw a side, and then you may play a side, so there's 2 ram spells, which seems really nuts in this game. The Earth Militia already sees play in competitive sorcery, so I don't see why this raised Militia would not see play. Saint of Redemption seems really strong. It's the 2 mana 2/2 that has Ward, and no minion is evil but enters the realm tapped, which is a really nice stacks effect, I think. This 6 mana 4/4 with Airborne and Ward has the ability to transfer a ward from something onto a nearby minion or side. This basically means you can steal wards from your enemies. Sphere of Animosity seems extremely strong. Avatars here cannot leave, heal, or be defended. That seems really strong, so there's no more running around with your avatar when you're at Death's Door or something like that, trying to evade attacks because you can be defended and all that stuff. So it's really strong. Swap seems really strong, and it seems really fun. I mean, you can swap a minion with a minion, an artifact with an artifact, or a minion with an artifact, or an artifact with a minion, and you don't have to choose your own creatures here, or artifacts. So you can basically swap one of your bad artifacts with one of your opponent's good minions and kill the minion, or something like that. You can do all kinds of fun things with this card. Toolbox seems very strong. The Baron may cast an ordinary spell from their collection. And if the collection is going to be 10 cards and you can basically have any cards you want in your collection, then it's going to add another element to the competitive scene where you can basically find a good answer to any threat that you might not have the answer to on your hand. I think there are some new avatars that you need to keep an eye out for. One of them is the Duplicator. Your spellbook and atlas may only contain matching pairs of uniques, and you start with only 2 spells and 2 sides in hand. Then you can play and tap to draw a side. But it seems very strong that you can play double up on uniques. Then we have the Imposter, and the Imposter seems very fun. You can pay 3, banish an avatar from your collection to mask yourself, gain their abilities until damaged or until you put on a new mask. This basically means you can play multiple avatars in your deck. That seems very interesting. Then we have this guy. Tap to play, draw or digest the site. Then it also says destroys a site, it successfully attacks, then becomes immobile until it digests. This avatar seems very interesting. It's destroying, resource denial. It's pretty awesome, honestly. And this avatar says you have no atlas, but your spellbook may contain sites and you start with 7 cards. Tap to play a site. This is very interesting. I'm definitely going to try play with this guy. This card seems very strong. Genesis heals 3. Don't mind that. But pay 3 mana to draw a spell? That seems extremely strong in a game where drawing spells is a premium and it's very hard to come by. This unique undead can steal the enemy warded creatures, which is pretty awesome. Besides having really amazing art, Eclipse I think have the potential to be a really good card. The Ferryman's Coin, we finally have some Cemetery Hate, and we can also use it in combination with our Demonic Contract if we wanted to. That's all for this video. Let me know what you think and also tell me what cards you really enjoy and are looking forward to coming from Gothic.